Oh, hey there. I didn't see you there. I'm just drinking my tea here. Okay, it's water. I already drank my tea. But something's got me thinking. My tools to get list is growing. It's getting too large. And my children, contrary to popular belief, they can't eat router bits. They can't do it. So it's time for us to listen to Matthew Peach.
Hi guys, so this is another episode of Making Money with Smalls. So if you're new to the channel, this series is all about high profit, low cost items.
And start making some smalls and making some money. I'm putting $20 down as an investment into my woodworking company, and we're gonna see how far it goes. I purchased two 1x6x8 boards of pine, and that cost me $15.98. And we are going to make these. That's right, we're gonna make some plant shelves. I really do a lot of things related to plants and shelves. I really hope I don't get typecast as the plant shelf guy. Anyways, let's jump into this project. But first, we need some templates or patterns for our router. Okay, so first we need to prepare our template material, MDF in this case. I cut it to 5.5 inches wide, and I made 2 of these strips. Next, I'm going to use this blue lid to give the corners a nice radius. I do the same thing for the heart, but with a few extra points. A graphic on the screen will give you the measurements. Using my bandsaw, I will rough cut out the template, being careful not to remove any fingers. Next, I'll use my vise to hold a palm router in a stationary position and finesse the radius and sides. I may have viced it a little too hard though. And a little more cleanup with my hands. Next, I need to prepare my material. So I'm gonna use some plywood to test. Cut it to 5.5 inches to match my template, and I make 2 longer pieces and 2 shorter pieces that are 5.5 inches squared. Then I trace the template out onto the plywood and use the bandsaw to get that edge a little bit closer to give my router an easier time. Okay, so we're roughly at the halfway point of the video, or close to it. I have been making videos for 10 years. I've never been very good at it. That being said, if you're enjoying this video, the content, consider subscribing. Right now, only 1.5% of my viewers are subscribed, and I'd love to see that number be like 10%. Now, get going and enjoy the rest of this video. Using some double-sided tape, I'm really loving this stuff. I attach my template to the smaller piece of plywood and I press it down really good. I then repeat the entire process with the heart, trace, cut, tape, attach, and then using more tape, I attach this template to the table with my reference surface on the bottom. While destroying my table surface, I pattern route the heart and the rounded edges. Using these little jigs, I attach the shelf portion to the back plate, first pre-drilling a couple holes and adding some screws, and repeating the same process with the heart, except the holes are closer together. Now, I don't want to use hardware to hang it off the wall. I want it to be flush. So we're going to need some keyholes, preferably straight ones too. So time for another jig. I sandwich my router in some MDF, and using some tape, I attach those pieces sort of close together and then plop a scrap sheet of plywood on top of it, and I drill a hole, grab my jigsaw, and get nice and close to the edge, and that's to save my router from working too hard again, and I flush it up all nice. I then test it, but I didn't do anything to stabilize the work, so it's pretty wonky, but it still worked. And now I have a place to store my lovely glue, or my lovely face mask, or all of my squares in their lovely square block. Yeah, you're right. It's not very lovely. I'll take that down. Okay, we're going to jump ahead a lot. I prepared my 1x6s. I cut 9 14-inch long pieces. I actually cut 10 and 9 5.5-inch long pieces. There wasn't enough for another, so I could only make 9 plant shelves in the end. I then kind of painfully attached my template to each one of those pieces, the 14-inch pieces twice and the 5.5-inch pieces once, and flush trimmed it. That's 29 times, tracing the template, pre-cutting, attaching the template, routing the template, removing the template, and removing the tape. It didn't take that long, but it wasn't very fun. Next, I did my keyholes. I found the center of my jig. I had used some tape and scraps to make it a little bit tighter. And then I used some MDF and some more plywood to give the template a frame. I could then push my 14-inch piece into the jig, slowly plunge my keyhole bit inside, move it to the top, and return to the starting position while on to clear out the debris so it doesn't get jammed. Now if I do it again, I'm going to do the keyhole on the top and the bottom, so you have more hanging options. We're so close to being done. When do I get the money? Now I sand each of the 19 pieces, first with my sander and then a little bit by hand to curl those edges. All with 220 grit, I think. I don't think the plants are gonna care if it's not perfectly sanded. And using my double-sided tape and setup jigs, I assembled each of my shelves, 3 screws in the back, pre-drilled with a countersink, link in the description for the drill and the tape, and all the other tools that I may have used in this video. After completing it, I tested its weight capacity by using my music hammer, placing it as close to the edge as I could, then using my miter saw. That's not a miter saw, that's a circular saw. My circular saw, there's no flex on it either. So these are good to sell. I also stained 4 of these shelves. Now to sell them, I have them listed $15 for one, $25 for 2, and $10 each if 3 or more. That was 6 days ago. And so far I've sold none. Kind of a bummer. I even tried posting them on Etsy. I've tried giving them away for free. So I guess my kids are gonna have to eat router bits. Nah, it wasn't all that bad. I got to take a look at templating, some product design, and scaling up production. Even though it wasn't that much. I could probably do 100 of these in a day without filming. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried something a little different, much more time consuming to do. If you did enjoy this video, consider subscribing. The next video will be finishing the kitchen island for my wife, which is exciting. I think it's turned out quite well. And yeah, make sure you tune back in for that. And here's a sneak peek of that.